of April, and welcome to the second go at Geeks on Screens with Coffee with Marcin. So I'm going to get your board up. There we go. Everybody gets one. And so, in fact, I take a screen grab of this and then put it up on the website, which we can go back to and talk. And then everything in sync. Take two. Sorry about that. I wasn't recording the first time we did this. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's our secret. So, do you want to... We now should be live streaming, so we should be able to tweet out. So I can see, yeah, we're on... the Facebook stream has gone live. We should be streaming live on Twitter, and we should be on Twitch and I got one of the others. I just set it up in some software. So, Marcin, how are you? I mean, and
very well, thank you. Well, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure.
Yeah, well, and the second time is even better than the first. So, do you want to tell people who don't know who you are? Do you want to just quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Marcin Gminski, as you mentioned. I am a SQL Server DBA, SQL Server developer. I've been working with SQL Server for no, I started early, and I'm not too young anymore. I mainly usually deal with data warehousing, data visualization, even Excel as well. Essentially anything to do with data migrations, anything to do with SQL Server. I used to do but that's probably not relevant anymore. I also build a community tool called SQL Watch, a SQL Server performance monitoring tool, which is very much your fault, Mark. It was your suggestion that I start a blog, so I started a blog. What to write about, and I started writing about a tool that I had been using for my end-to-end performance testing that I was doing for my clients. And sure enough, people seem to like it, and I made it into a project which is now called SQL Watch. It's open source.
So Pete, I've got you can't see this. Actually, if you're watching on the streams, you'll be able to see this. I've got the website up. I can see that it looks pretty. Oh, what are you drinking? I know we can't see your
coffee,
Mister. Not coffee.
Oh, you should say. Oh, that's a coffee. That's an actual coffee.
Oh, what? Grumpy is a coffee?
Yeah. No, that's me. That's coffee.
So, I mean, just because you're here and I can do this, I'm just having a quick scroll down your website. You can see some agent jobs. I can see some description. I can see that it's on GitHub. So is it all open source?
It's all open source, all free. You can download it, you can install it. It's a decentralized concept, which means it works on a local instance. It monitors local data into a local database. There is a central repository as well you can use for central reporting. It will grab all the data from all the remote instances into one place to make it easy. But yeah, it's the whole concept is that it's decentralized, which means you're not limited by the network, you're not limited by the performance of the monitoring server, etc. Every server monitors itself. Pretty much that's the idea.
So you got 9 contributors.
Well, I mean, yeah, the majority of the code is just me writing. There isn't many contributors, but there are some.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty good.
I'd say that 98 or 99% of the code that I wrote. There's been, I think over 10,000 downloads now from GitHub, but I know that a lot of people do offline installations as well. So you can grab a package for deployment, or you can do it via DBA and you can install unlimited as well. Well, on any instance, even offline, unlimited instances. So the total count of downloads is not accurate, but It's over 10. Well, I think it's well over 15,000 at least.
Right.
So I think that's pretty good.
And if people want, I was actually looking at this and with quite some eagerness and glee that we can buy you a coffee. And
you can buy me a coffee if you want to, and it will go in here.
Yeah. How much really goes in there? That's what I want to know.
Not a lot.
So I mean, so people who are just watching this are actually just seeing this in the background. So yeah, no, I remember you talking about this when we worked together.
Yeah. So yes. So the idea is that logs and all sorts of other data like disk utilization and agent job history. There's extended events that track some long-running queries and blocking and all sorts of stuff. And it logs into a local database. And then there's a Power BI dashboard that comes with it that
all right.
you can use. And the whole idea of it is that it should provide a normalized data set that you can feed into pretty much anything. You don't have to use the Power BI that comes with it. You can use anything. You can send it to Grafana. You can send it to Zabbix or any other availability monitoring solution if you like.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean,
it has alerts. It has alerting and actions engine, and that's based on PowerShell. So based on the different criteria or thresholds, you can send emails. You can send notifications to Teams via webhooks through PowerShell. You can send notifications to Slack. You can even run SQL. So you can almost write something that will, kind of self-fix problem if you like it. There's pretty much endless possibilities if you like.
So it seems, I mean,
PowerShell and TSQL.
A lot of people write their own. I mean, I've written my own basic one that I used at a company years and years ago when 2008 was new. And I was always surprised that Microsoft never did anything never really stepped into this market. It was always Redgate, Quest, Dell. Dell did Quest, didn't it? They bought Quest. There's a few SQL, Sentry, or S1, or whatever, Sentry 1, or whatever they're called now. And there's a few kind of big players in the market, and a few people that do things like this. But it just seems really cool that this is a community project. You're just giving away.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, everyone pretty much every try to do this, and it's part of it. I used to use it as sort of monitoring solution at a place I used to work for. It was in a different shape. It was a long time ago. It wasn't as good, although, well, I'm implying that it is good right now, but it wasn't as good as it is now.
Wow.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, everyone pretty much did it in their career. So the whole point of it is that instead of doing your own, might as well download it and contribute to it and make it better for everyone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So how much of your, because we were working together at a company, how much is your time actually going into this now? Is you putting quite a lot of effort in? Because it looks pretty.
I think last 4 months it was not full time, but 3/4 of my time.
All right, so that gets us.
Full time, half time, a lot of time. I had a spare time, and a lot of time went into it.
Right,
so it gets better. I keep looking at my iPad. I got it here. I don't think you can.
You have to turn your back. You have to turn your background off for us to see it.
I just have a website open. Yes, a lot of time goes into it, and it keeps going into it. Which is why there's a buy me a coffee button. So if you like to buy me a coffee, go ahead.
Well, hopefully people will see this and then they'll kind of get a bit more awareness, because I think that's probably one of the biggest things.
A lot of time. I
Sorry,
spent
that was
time and a lot of
me.
time went into it.
Oh, sorry. Me being technically inept there. If people see this is there and they're aware of it, just going to switch to the window now. If people can see and they're aware of this, and it comes up on Google nicely, which is probably the key. It's got good SEO.
Yes, I think if you search for a free or to the first, so it's pretty well. I mean, it's not really first, because first 9 or 10 are the paid advertising, so it's not really first, but it's doing well. But you're right. The awareness is the key.
Yeah, well, that's one of the struggles.
So everyone is aware of.
Yeah, and I guess
Yes.
if people
Yes.
get to know you, they'll find out about this. But the more people that use it, the more people will hopefully share it and and use it.
Yes, and bug fix. Fixing bugs I couldn't figure out. The difficulty is that I can test it as much as I can, but I cannot replicate the real life workloads that people have. And no matter how hard I try, it's impossible. Some solutions are different, and it's for me it's impossible to replicate the real life workload. So sure enough, bugs happen and people come back and they fix them, which is great.
Yeah. So
as people will even people that have enterprise monitoring, they probably won't have it on the non-production servers.
Yeah.
So with development QA, test any non-production server that you have without spending a penny. And if you don't have enterprise monitoring or the paid monitoring for your production servers, then go ahead and use it.
Yeah. With that nice caveat that if anything goes wrong, you're not liable for anything.
Oh, that's I think there is something like that on a website somewhere.
That goes without saying, right? So
yes.
In fact, that leads us nicely on to that doesn't, but previously that leads us nicely on to kind of one of the questions, which is just about how the virus and the lockdown has been affecting you.
I must obviously it's a difficult time for everyone, but I must say, I'm trying to use this time as much as I can, do stuff that I don't normally do, as in DIY or anything on computers. I don't want to say that I enjoy this time, but we go for a daily walk and it's been lovely weather, and I can't really complain that it affects me in a negative way. But obviously, it's not a nice time.
No. I mean, but it's what you can make out of it. So kind of you make the best out of the situation.
There's always a bit of a stress and concern in the back of your head, but you have to make the best you can.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And we're lucky enough that we live in a really nice area. There's lots of green areas around where we live, so it's beautiful to go for a walk. And it's been lovely weather for the past 4 weeks.
So this might not be. I think you can hear my daughter. So how was have you been doing any kind of online events? Have you been going to any? Are you speaking at any? I think you might.
I did at Leeds Data in Manchester a couple of times.
Okay.
I was York data user group, and that was in January, February, and then the lockdown came on, and that's it. And we only met once, and it was a bunch of people in York in a pub. So I'm hoping that I can get it back on a track. But no, other than that, I wasn't doing any speaking. I tried. I submitted a couple of sessions, but haven't been successful.
Oh, but is that talking about SQL Watch.io, or is that talking about something else?
Yeah, there was that, and there was a couple of different sessions. I think 3 to SQL bits, and then data Scotland. But if you look at all the really good speakers with a brilliant experience, it's it's quite difficult to compete.
Yeah.
Not really fantastic speakers.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the trick is to get yourself known. Is to get out there, submit, and kind of, it will happen. Just it might not happen yet. And there are going to be lots of events and online events, and we'll mention him sooner or later in the conversation. But as my Lord and Saviour Richard Herring would do, is it if you can't get to do the things via the normal routes, do it yourself. If you can't get to speak, just speak. If you can't get onto podcasts, make your own podcast. If you can't do something, then
Absolutely. I actually I set up a channel already, youtube.com/u/SQL Watch, and it's ready there. And there's a couple of clips, but it's like manuals, what to do, kind of how to install SQL Watch, that kind of stuff. It's not me speaking, but the idea is that eventually I'll do some walkthroughs and how to use it and that kind of stuff. That'll happen at some point.
Yeah, and it will, yeah. But it's just that kind of you can just do it yourself. You don't actually have to wait for other people. It might take a while. Everybody who's downloading and using your product, they're going to get the new updates. They're gonna see the videos about you. That's going to promote you. And kind of it will happen. It's just it's an odd time because with all the events happening and not happening, the physical events, but virtual events happening, you just have to kind of keep plugging away, and it will happen. Just keep trying, and and the same thing happened for me. You get that sort of. There was no one speaking in Southampton, so I started a user group. And then that gives you your opportunity to start talking. As you can with the York user group.
I did come across your video on YouTube. It recommended it to me.
Which one?
YouTube it was. I think it was. I don't know if it was Southampton. It was one of the user groups, and it was quite a good speak. I liked it. I don't know. You'd have to Google it. I can't remember. Was it? Maybe no. Was it Nottingham? No, I don't know. But it was 5-6 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because it was recommended to me by YouTube. I said, "Oh, how do you know?"
Yeah, well, that's the power of the Google cookies, a recommendation engine. All right,
yeah, you're right.
Let's start you with. So, are you going to any of the online events? So I think it's Data Weekend.
Yes.
Weekend.
Yeah, I'm volunteering as well, so
okay.
That should be fun.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask you one of the most important questions. What's your favourite cheese?
Brie. I think and it has to be warm.
Baked brie or just warm?
Yeah. No, just a warm brie, like a baked brie. No, I don't think it's baked. It's just warm.
Brie. Maybe it's not brie. Yeah, okay. I mean, but warm, so left out for a good hour. Is that brie on its own, or do you have to have it eaten with something?
Oh, that's a tough question. No, on its own would be good. Or with bread. Nice bread, like like nice baguette, like an Italian kind of style bread.
Would that be ciabatta?
Like, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then warm as nice.
All right.
Yeah, I think so. I like all sorts of cheese. I usually get pizza with double cheese anyway. I like all kind of cheese,
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves cheese.
but but it has to be warm. It has to be like kind of liquidy,
Okay, all right. So
melted. Or
I'm gonna try you out on some questions that I ask pretty much almost everybody. Do you know the sound of one hand clapping?
I don't know.
All right. So sorry, it's kind of sorry, it's a joke from like 20, 30 years about
Yeah, I
us
wasn't sure where this question was going, but
being zen. Sorry, I don't mind losing you. I'll get you back with the next one. So, what's the best thing about the virus? So, I mean, you sort of answered that one, haven't you?
well, I think that as bad as it is for a lot of people get quality time, quality family time that we don't usually get. And I think a lot of good will come out of it from the sort of remote working point of view. Company realize that we can actually make it work remotely, and obviously there is a chain reaction. There may be less use of offices and office space costs, and those that rent offices will be impacted. I don't know the full impact of it, but I think as of right now, I mean, obviously there is a international collaboration, international research and all that kind of stuff. But I think that the quality time that people have, well, apart from the stress that obviously everyone is experiencing, but I think the quality family time that people are at home and pets. I think that's the best time for dogs, isn't it? You're at home all the time.
Mm, no, I would say because my dog gets a lot of walks. There's more walks now than she ever did.
But there's also a bad the sort of dark side to it as well. There's a lot of people they don't necessarily want to be with. People that go to work to escape from home.
Okay, all right, that's a bit dark. All right, let's brighten it up.
I know, that's what I mean, but there's two sides of it. But yeah.
Christ. All right.
that's not me, by the way.
Yeah, is this really just a cry for help? Blink twice into the camera if this is a cry for help. All right, we'll get someone round later. All right, what's the best story you've heard about yourself that was you've heard from someone else, and it doesn't have to be true? Or the best story you've heard about someone else, and it doesn't have to be true. All right.
About myself. Well, the best story is that I think. I don't know. I don't think I've heard anything good about me.
It doesn't have to be good. It could be good. It could be bad. It's just
just anything. Bad story.
I got the question because I was listening to a podcast and a comedian said he'd heard this story about himself when he was kind of and it was completely untrue, but it was still a good story. So kind of.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, because you have to be famous for people to talk about you. Well, that's not me. People don't randomly talk about me. It's like that would be one level to achieve in life when people randomly talk about someone.
I've heard it at work. Someone goes, "Oh, I've heard about you from somebody," and you go, "Was it good?" I mean, I don't know. I mean, all right, don't worry. So,
I think don't know. No.
What's the best thing you picked up at a conference? Some free swag or?
Knowledge. No matter what conference I go to, you always learn stuff. Well, as in gifts.
Yeah, free stuff. The important stuff. The reason why we go to conferences.
Beanbags from SQL Bit.
Did you get it for free?
Long time ago.
Or did you have to pay?
Yeah, I think it was down in Bristol, I think. They were giving them away. I think they were selling them. It was years and years ago.
Bristol?
Maybe it wasn't free.
They do try and sell them for charity.
Yeah, they try to sell them, but then eventually, if they don't sell them all, I think they just give them away. Maybe, or maybe they used to.
Yeah, no, it would be. I mean,
but we couldn't fit it into the train because it was massive. Another thing, we ended up. No, I don't think we took it. No, I think we left it there. But that was the best giveaway.
I think it was Telford. We emptied a bean bag of the beans because someone could take the bag bit back on a flight.
Yeah, that's clever. Yeah, at least you didn't have a SQL Bit back, I suppose.
Yeah. But I think it probably cost more to do that and buy the beans when you get back home.
Yes.
So, what podcasts are you listening to? Do you listen to podcasts?
I used to, not anymore. I used to listen to Mendoza podcast back when, that was years ago, and I actually quite like Eric. He was always funny, Eric Darling, and he was always quite funny, and he always had a really good ideas and a clever guy. And I used to listen to that. I used to listen to their podcast years and years ago. I used to listen to Bill Burr. He's a comedian, American comedian from Brooklyn. He's an interesting guy. He's got an interesting humor, and I used to listen to his podcast as well. But no, I listen to audiobooks now. Subscribe to Audible.
Oh, okay. So what are you listening to on? So what audiobook are you listening to now? I have just finished. Let me show you. Well, I don't think I can show you, but I was listening to Negotiation Skills. Ooh.
Not that I'm gonna use it, but it was quite fun. I don't think you can learn it. You just have to have it. I think that was the point of the book.
Oh, really?
Never split. Well, I mean, no. I mean, he was showing examples, but I suppose you can learn a lot. You will eventually get to a point where you have to figure something out yourself, and that will come out of you.
All right.
And if you don't have it, then you just don't have it.
Right.
So that was that. No, I don't think. No, you won't.
Yeah, you got to turn your background.
It's never split a difference. Or never split the difference. By Chris Voss. He used to be an FBI negotiator. It's quite a good book.
So I don't know.
It's fun to.
You can see.
Oh yeah.
That. So that is the top one is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Locked Together, which is a free audio podcast off Audible. Good Omens, I've just bought. I was listening to 1984, and I got part the way through, and it's just a bit depressing, really. So I thought I'd listen to something a bit more upbeat. But yeah, no, I've got an Audible subscription. We like that.
I have one which is it's up to date right now. It's about pandemics and how to do all the maths behind it. I mean, it's quite fascinating. As bad as the situation is, the maths behind it and all the calculations and predictions, the mathematical models are quite fascinating.
Yeah,
it's interesting to even try. No, I'm not even saying to learn, but try and understand it and learn. It's fascinating.
All right.
It's so difficult.
So, all right. I know actually, Rich, from where we used to work, would probably like this more. So this is Richard Herring's emergency question book. Everybody gets to answer a question from, and everyone needs to go out and buy this. If you've got this at home, they can play along. So what you do is you come up with a number between 1 and 1001, and then you answer the question.
612.
Don't think we've had 612. But let me just check. Why 612?
Why not?
All right.
Random number.
Yeah. Have you ever planted a tree or chopped one down?
No.
If you've done both, which was more satisfying?
I chopped one down, but never planted. Well, I mean, a small tree, yes. Or more like shrubs. Yes. That doesn't count as a tree.
Well, it can. All right. You can stretch the question out. So what shrubs did you plant?
Green. I have no idea about this stuff. It was green.
You planted something green. Okay. You certainly know Bob flowered you.
It was in our own garden long time ago, so I'm not good at it.
Okay.
It was I don't know. I can probably Google it and it will be just green shrubs kind of stuff.
All right.
I don't know what it's called. Something like.
So, before we get on to our final question, who do you want to nominate next? And it means nominate and introduce me. So, other people have been nominating and then just dumping me. And then I have to approach these people randomly who I don't know and say, do you want to talk to me? And then they just shun and run away. So who do you think, before we get to there, I've forgotten my thread. I was going to ask you something. Okay, so yeah, sorry, let's go back. And
so we did 612 and there's one left.
No.
Because you said it's 2.
What? 6?
Yeah, no, we did one question, 612.
Yeah.
And there's one left because you said it's 2 questions from the book.
Oh, we can do another question.
Or is it only one?
No,
we can do another one.
Yeah, come on, let's do another one. Go on.
408.
408. So some questions are better than others.
So are the answers.
So, what would have happened if instead of being raised by apes, Tarzan had been raised by armadillos? What if he'd been raised by a worm or the contents of a cutlery drawer? What would be the funniest animal or object that could have raised Tarzan, and what would have his life been like in each case? So, right. So, let me repeat that to give you some thinking time and to make sure that I got it right. So for everybody who's playing along, it's 408. What would have happened if instead of being raised by apes, Tarzan had been raised by armadillos? What if he had been raised by a worm? Or the contents of a cutlery drawer? What would be the funniest animal or object that could have raised Tarzan, and what would his life been like in each case? Simple. I mean, it's obvious. Thank you, Richard.
Well, if he wasn't raised by what was it, monkeys? No, apes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be swinging on the line between trees, I suppose.
I mean, but do gorillas really? Because I don't know.
No.
I've not read the book, but in the TV, it's generally gorillas. I mean, it could be apes. It could be chimpanzees or some other great ape. I don't know.
I think they like to swing.
Right, give me another number.
That was that.
That
question. Let's go 118.
118. Oh, I see, like the phone number.
Yes. Oh, we can ring them and ask them that question.
Oh, all right. You are picking the the worst questions. All right, okay. Do you think that opposites attract? And even if they do, Do you think it makes for a good relationship? What would be the most opposite couple you can imagine? And then Richard has put in an example: Hitler and Mother Teresa. Oh, and I think he thinks that might have worked. Trump and Princess Di. So what would be a good opposite couple?
Me and my fiance are quite opposite. We
Ooh.
never agree on the same thing. We don't even, which is good because I don't eat her stuff, she doesn't eat my stuff. It just works out really well. But no, yeah.
All right. Okay.
That's us.
All right. So what I was going to say is, finally, where can people find stuff out about you?
So, well, if you go to SQLWatch.io website, if you go on that website, there are links to, there's about section, I think down, hang on, let me just have a quick look because I don't remember.
Getting started.
At the bottom, in the footer, there's support. If you go to support, on the bottom, down the bottom, and there's about me.
Oh, there's a DBIO.
And that will take you to.
There's a DBIO. Oh, that's DBAIO's, not your one. Sorry. Dr. SQL Watch. Oh, you're used by X10 and Airforge.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Down the bottom, we've got
so there's about me and there's community channels and stuff. But if you about me, there's a about me link, and it actually takes you to my website, to my blog.
All right, I'm going to click on it now. Let's hope it's safe for work. Yeah, okay, it is. Good. Which is what you made me create. This only exists because of you. I can't take the blame. You told me to. Well, so whoever is using SQL Watch, it's thanks to Mark. Well, I can't take any credit, because if you, just because you have an idea doesn't mean that someone has to actually go and do anything about it. So no, that's true, but I don't think this would have sort of surfaced if it wasn't because of the blog, and if it wasn't because of you. We'll call it serendipity. All right, thank you, Marcin, for your time. It's been wonderful. Thank you for. And hopefully more people will use SQL Watch IO, and you know, some companies are going to buy it off you. Well, that'd be great. I don't know. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Why not? Or buy you out to stop you working on it. Yeah.